Now that we've learned how to use SAP 2000 instances, let's now have a quick look at how to extract data from our worksheets, something we'll need going forward. Let's create a new Excel workbook. Always remember to save it as a macro-enabled workbook. Now, let's create a new button. Then, let's create a Get Information macro. This macro is going to be extremely simple, literally just one line of code. It's just going to be a demonstration of how to get values from cells. Let's also rename our code module. To rename our code module, we can click on it and then go into the Properties window to change its name property. Let's change this one to Cell Interaction. So, let's write some data into a cell in our worksheet to show it in a message box. Something like Hello World, which is a classic. Let's now create a message box with a value of cell string. Then, we'll use the ampersand symbol, which is the operator that joins strings of characters in VBA. Then, let's just write cells in open brackets to input the row and column index. When we do this, VBA assumes that the cell we're accessing is located in the active worksheet. Now, while the rows require the actual row index, when it comes to columns, we can input the column name instead of its index. This just makes it easier for us to read our code and understand where we're getting our values. Also, nobody wants to count columns. Let's also access the text property. We could access the value property, which is similar, but the value property returns the actual value stored in the cell. So, if a cell has a number 1 for example, the value property returns an actual number value of 1. Conversely, the text property would, in this case, return a 1 but as a string value. So, you can think of it as a function that returns the literal text that is displayed in a cell, and not its actual stored value. And that's it. Let's test it out. Great! Now, what if we want to get data from another sheet? Let's add another macro just for that. First, we'll create a new worksheet. Let's change the name to Data. This will be helpful in a moment. And let's add a value to a cell. Hello World from another sheet. That'll do. Now, let's go back to our original worksheet, add a button with a new macro called Get Information from another sheet. To make our lives easier, let's just copy the code from the previous macro and make some minor adjustments. Instead of just cell, let's add worksheets and open brackets. As with cell indices, we can specify a worksheet by its index in the workbook. However, we can also access it by inputting its name. This makes it so that, if we rearrange the order of our worksheets, we won't need to change any code. So, let's put data here, and we should be done. Great! Now you know how to access values from cells in a generic fashion.